Alright, I'm back to digging. Summer's over. It's cool and nice out today. I'm at a fellow bottle collector's house, and he told me his house was from the 1880s or 90s, and so obviously I asked to check for the privy, and here it is. Can you see that low spot? That's the privy. Well, it's pretty deep for having found nothing so far. Just one piece of ceramic china. They may have dipped it. Well, that was a lot of work for nothing. Didn't find a single bottle, not even a broken bottle. I think I found the other privy, but of course I can't dig that one. A very obvious sinkhole, and right out the back door. I'd like to dig that privy. Well, here I am in Weldon, North Carolina for the first time. I've got a couple of interesting spots probed out, but unfortunately I started digging one hole and I broke my shovel after just 1 minute. Well, I got a privy and it's about 2 feet deep, and I found my first bottle, and of course it had to be something like a 1930. I'd be really lucky to get $1 for that one. I'm in the town of Seaboard, North Carolina, looking for the dispensary flask they have from here. Alright, I just found a fresh project in the city of Jackson, North Carolina. Well, I just probed about 500 spots on that lot and I found 2 holes, and just before I got to start digging them I got kicked out. But I did find this silver spoon laying on top of the ground, so I know nobody's metal detected it. It's got a date on the back, 1963. Not exactly antique, but it's pretty neat anyway. Well, I've had 3 days in a row with pretty much nothing being found. That's probably the worst luck I've ever had. Looks like a lot of modern dumps, but who knows what's farther back there. Well, I found one bottle anyway. I found several more that were more modern than that, the 16-ounce Pepsi, so I just left those. Then I found some teacups, maybe an Avon bottle, another duck figurine, United States Navy spoon, and a little brown jug. Not sure what this is, maybe a salt cell. It's in perfect condition and it's starting to turn purple. And then the Flintstones. Not a bad little haul for 10 minutes of work. But after 3.5 days of finding nothing really good, I'm back at a spot that's guaranteed to produce. Well, that's where I spent about 3.5 days digging, but it's all wiped out. So now I'm thinking I should dig into the embankment on this side where I've been piling up all the broken stuff. So I'll give it a try and see what happens. The first bottle out was this mint cola. It's from Roanoke Rapids. It's got some serious chips on the bottom, but it may be worth a couple dollars. This is a New Bern D-Patent Coke with some serious case wear on it. Then we got a Kelford, and it's just the later one that says Patent Office on it. But at least I'm getting one about every minute. I got one sticking out right here. It feels like it's going to be intact. And it is, but it has a lip chip. Well, there's 5 more, mostly D-patents and patent offices, nothing special. Well, that stuff was just too new, so I moved about 35 feet over this way in a drier area. Hopefully I'll find some Christmas Cokes in this one. 15 minutes later I'm finding the same kind of stuff. A Weldon D-patent, a patent office from Kelford, and another Kelford patent office, and yet another one, and a Greenville. Alright, I see some bases that look like they are Christmas Cokes. I'll try this spot and hopefully it'll produce something. Well, there's a nice big pile that nobody's dug into yet. I'll give it a try. Well, this is an interesting looking spot. Well, it's too bad about that Dr. Pepper. That's about a $40 bottle. I got one coming out here that feels like it's intact. Well, almost. Well, it wasn't as good as it looked. I didn't find anything. Well, the best two are this Christmas Coke from Kilford. No chips on that one. And then the soda water bottle. No city on it though. Well, digging for those 1940s and 50s Cokes gets boring really quick. So I'm going to try a new strategy. I probed around and I feel a pretty heavy layer of glass about 2 feet to 4 feet deep. So hopefully there's going to be some really old ones down here. I'm hitting the layer now. Everything's broken so far. Those are all 1915 Cokes, so that's a really good sign. Alright, I got one showing. Hopefully it'll be whole. Well, guess not. But it is a 1915. Well, the age and variety is definitely better, but it's just about 100% broken. Found a 1920 Orange Crush, but the top sheared off. And I found a squeeze bottle. It has a big chip right there. It is from the giant city of Richmond, but still I might get $2 if I'm lucky. Well, I got an Orange Crush in the amber variety showing. Hopefully it'll be the embossed one. No, it's painted. And most of the paint is still on it. Well, it's just too close to the water and the mosquitoes are getting me. And the hole's filling up with water. And I just have one intact bottle to show for my efforts. So I'll try another spot. When a big tree falls over in a dump, that's when it exposes a lot of stuff. This is a really big pile right here. Never been touched. And as you can see, there's a perfect Coke bottle sticking right out of the roots. It's just one of the patent office ones from the late 50s. But since it's such a good looking spot, I'm going to try it out for a while. Found another tiny snake. No, it's not a worm. Snake in a Coke bottle. Well, I'm finding some more common ones. Some even have the painted label on them. About 1958. I'm just about 40 feet from the side of the road, and I'm finding 1915 Cokes. Of course, it's broken, but certainly good potential. Well, I'm finding 1915s and Christmas Cokes. And plenty of bases to make art projects with. It's got a really strong embossment on that one, but it has a big flash crack in it. Still, I might get $2 for it. And then a knee-high. Broken off, but if I saw it off right about there, I can make a drinking glass. Well, after all that digging, I finally found a whole bottle. Christmas Coke from Kilford. Just has one tiny sliver chip off the edge of the crown, but it's very hard to notice. So I'm going to say that's a $10 bottle. Alright, I'm in Allander, North Carolina. Out in the woods where a few houses used to be. I got two privies located. There's an obvious sinkhole. And here's a very obvious one. So I'll start on this one. I also got another one over there. Well, we had a lot of rain last week, but it stopped at least 4 days ago, and yet I'm hitting water at only 5 inches. So unless this is a really old one, I'm going to have to quit digging it. Well, it was a late 40s hole, so I'll come back and dig that sometime when it's dry. I think I'll start on this one now. Well, it doesn't look very old, but at least it's got glass coming out really high. Here's the first bottle. Looks like about 1947. Well, it's getting to water at about 11 inches. There's a couple of $1 bottles and some worthless stuff. It's really a trash pit, so I'm going to tunnel it over that way. Well, I'm giving up on this one, at least for now, because it's just too wet and too modern. So I'm going to go dig another hole that I got poked out. Okay, I got 2 holes located. Here's one, and this is the other one. So I'll get back to you in a few minutes. Well, I'm hitting water again, this time at about 15 inches. I found just a couple shards, and they're from the late 40s, so again, not worth my time. Well, I started on this hole, but I'm hitting so many roots, I think I'm just going to leave it. Since it's right in line with that late hole, this is probably pretty late as well. Well, I started my trip in Battleboro and found nothing there, then went on up the road to Enfield for the first time. Had very bad luck there as well. Then I went on up to Halifax. Didn't find anything there either. Then I went on up to Weldon. Somebody's been digging privies there because I could see some definite sinkholes, and I probed them and they were empty. So then I went over to Roanoke Rapids and I could see some privies that were already dug there as well. So then I went on over to the town of Seaboard, because there's a really rare flask from there, but of course I couldn't find anything there either. So then I went on down to Jackson. There's a pretty rare flask from there as well. Then I left there without anything. Went to Ridge Square for a few minutes. Then on down to Roxobell and Kelford. Then on down to Lewiston, Woodville. Then on over to Scotland Neck. I sure thought I was going to find some good stuff in this city, but got into a couple holes, but I got kicked out. So overall, that was one of the worst dig trips I'd ever been on. 390 miles of driving, and this is the best thing I found. And it's only a $10 bottle, maybe not even that much. This is what would have been the best one. A Roanoke Rapids Mint Cola. Well, I can't win them all, but next time I'm sure I'll do better.